My name's Myke. You can find me at twitch.tv/Voxgizer. I'm a Resident Evil speedrunner and variety streamer. We're going to get through this really quick with beta.
Hello, my name is Beta Cat Variety Speedrunner. Minute. Hi.
Ian. Punk Rock Ian, retro game streamer.
Tony's not here because he's at work where I have to be in about 40 minutes. And Mr. Maximus himself.
Yo, charity caster, speedrunner of horror games, and variety streamer, and no discernible video game skills. Boom, done.
Indeed. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about engineering, community building, and Resident Evil Remake 2 because I don't have time to argue with Max about the discernible video game skills thing again.
Hey, worked out.
So, yeah, I know. So, we have some pretty good stuff to cover. Where do we start?
At the beginning is usually a really good spot, but you know, I'm always down for the middle as well.
Okay. Those pages haven't been written yet, so we'll have to get to them in a bit. Why don't we start with the thing that brought us together, Max? What do you think of Resident Evil Remake 2 so far? I thought it'd be a good one. We've all played it so far, so I think we can.
Well, without spoilers for chat, just in case. I absolutely adore it. I think it's a great example of what a remake or a remaster. Well, a remake and a remaster are completely different things, but like what a remake can be in terms of. You know, in my opinion, what makes a good remake from the jump is it needs to appeal to two different fan bases, right? You got your retro nostalgia fan base, which is like me, that played the original one on like PlayStation.
And me,
yeah. And then you have your like new fan base, which are used to the more modern Resident Evils, like 4, 5, 6, 7.
People like Tony, who's too young to remember. I can't make fun of him. He's not here.
And so I honestly think this game did an awesome job of like putting in elements that still, you know, for the people that played the original one, being like, oh shit, they kept that. That's really cool. And then also new players that are like, I like the fact that there's no fixed camera angles and you don't have to use tank controls and all of those things. And so that's why I think it's a really good job. Of course, does it have problems? Yeah, duh. But every game has problems, and even like that's basically my opinion on Remake is how they brought certain things back. And I think with the addition of the DLCs that came out yesterday, it's also going to be. I haven't had the chance to play them yet, but hopefully I'll get the chance today. And those also look really, really good. So.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. Well, I mean, I've seen stuff from them, but I haven't played them yet.
Does anybody even know what they are? Like, I've only played
I know who's
both A's for Leon and Claire so far. So I just started B for Leon last night, but I saw the other new stuff, and I'm like, what is all of this?
Yeah, because
an old man that doesn't like change.
The one thing I didn't like about Remake was the pre stuff. Because I feel like Capcom gave so much away. Much away. In trailers, Twitter posts, giving the game out to other streamers early, of course. Right. And all of those things, they just gave out so much information out. But besides that, as I said, I thought it was pretty good. You're dealing with a company here who's been in the business for a long time. And not only that, but also purposely made stuff for the retro guys. Including the ability to get the original soundtrack.
Yeah, that
was instead of the new soundtrack. And if you haven't played with it yet, I'd highly suggest it because it's actually really, really good. It makes the game feel really, really awesome. So
nice. And if you need to get the retro skins, you actually have to go into this whatever storefront you use, like the Steam one, and find them in the DLC because they're not automatically added. I thought they were, but they were not.
So. Oh, the 1998 skins, polygons for days. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with Remake 2. It was certainly better than I thought it was going to be. I will still argue back and forth to the death that it plays just like Revelations without the dodge mechanic. I heard someone say it, but it plays like Resident Evil 6, and it's like, no, it doesn't. The combat is too shallow to be anything like 6.
Plus 6 is the greatest Resident Evil game of all time, so
it's true. There is no other Resident Evil game that exists where you can bulldog a zombie as Leon
or slide down a slide as Chris.
That's true. Or ride a panda as Chris. For those
there you go.
Follow me. But it's better than I thought it would be.
Let's see. saw a guy playing last night, and there were more character DLCs in the Hunk and Tofu mode that I didn't realize. Yeah, those came out yesterday. Ghost Survivors?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And so that actually, because that's kind of one of the things, again, without like too many spoilerinos, another thing that I didn't care for as much in the remake is that a lot of the side characters didn't get as much screen time as I thought they would. So
the one for me I was surprised by was the mayor's daughter, but that's for a totally different reason.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they did manage to change, quite a bit. And I guess the other thing would be the interactions between Leon and Claire, because there wasn't many, and the ones they did have were super cringy, and the facial animations were.
Oh, I actually like the facial animations in this.
At the end, did you see Claire's smile? Oh my god,
no,
nightmare fuel. It's like watching Rachel Ray stretched out like 500%.
Every time like Leon and Claire were interacting with each other, I swear I was watching like a Hallmark movie or something.
Yeah. I love their interaction at the gate though, where
that one's the cringiest one. They're like, "How are you doing?" I don't know. How are you doing
for this one?
It's like, oh, you two are so adorable together.
Oh my god!
Now survive the apocalypse.
I feel like that's a wonderful moment.
We needed drum rolls, audience applause, and awes.
It's a wonderful moment to bring in an old classic RE1 line and be like, "Oh, Claire, you're here. Leon, you're here too." Like that would have been.
Oh my god!
That would have been perfect. So
one thing I thought was really awesome was the addition the change to Sherry and Ada's parts.
Those are pretty good. Mm-hmm.
Sherry's was way better.
They were way more
better.
in depth. So, and Sherry wasn't an annoying little brat the entire game. So, as a classic RE2 speedrunner, that means a lot to me because Sherry is the worst part of speedrunning Resident Evil 2 by far. So,
that's why nobody runs Claire A.
If they retcon Brat Sherry, I'm perfectly fine with that. So
yeah,
but I guess that's the other thing too. I don't know what's canon anymore, and that scares me a little bit.
There's an ad playing on your VOD.
I say, "Oh, there is." Oh,
no, Maxwell. I would say, hello, Shock.
I'm not even sponsored by Honda, but everyone in chat should go out and buy yourself a Honda today.
God damn it.
Secret Level's not affiliated in
any way. Not
It'll
affiliated.
make you better at gaming.
Yes.
Because now they put ads on everything and you can't skip them at all, even if you're a Prime member.
But yeah, so Ian's played, Vox has played, Beta. Have you played the new one? Have you played the...
Yeah, I beat all of it.
The new R2? Oh, nice. How'd you like it?
I loved it.
Nice.
Because I also played the original when I was little, and I agreed with your statement that it has a mixture of both retro and modern, so it appeals to both audiences, and you can't make everybody happy. But,
absolutely not. Yeah, I mean, there's still people online that are saying, "Oh, it's not it doesn't feel like a Resident Evil." I'm like,
this is what Resident Evil feels like now. Shut up.
That's the thing, though. Like
every time I hear that statement, it gives me a migraine.
Yeah, it's nice to have nostalgia, but if you let nostalgia blind you to something that's actually good, then that's your loss.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's one of the things that, like, when I was talking to a bunch of runners I know, and just people from our part of the speedrunning community, Max, it was like so many people, "Oh my god, it's the greatest Resident Evil ever made," and it's like, take off your nostalgia goggles for 5 minutes, please. It's Revelations 2 with the ugly, lazy, terribly designed UI for an inventory and safe box from 7.
Oh yeah,
but
it's
still a great game.
Safe box, but it's an amazing game. Yeah,
it's still an excellent game.
I mean, I've also been asked a lot about which one I think is better, RE2 Classic or RE2 Remake. And I think that the answer to that question is there is no answer to that question. Because although they are technically the same game by title, it's still like comparing apples to oranges. Because you have to think about the technology then versus the technology now. Right? Yeah. Like, this game could not have come out in 98.
No, there is no way. It would have had to be two separate games.
Yeah. And... so the fact that they could do what they did with Classic at the time and what they can do now with the remake is absolutely amazing. But trying to compare the two is is, I think, a little bit too tall of a task.
Yeah, there's too much different between them to really do anything like that.
Mm-hmm. But I do want to speedrun it. So.
But will you submit times for it? Because I want to speedrun it too, but I'm not doing it under the rules that are currently instated.
The state of the speedrun boards for RE2 Remake leaves a lot to be desired. Again, it's something that gives me a migraine, but that's like a personal attitude of the people that are running the boards, unfortunately. So it's been a problem actually with now see, this is going to get me banned from the podcast forever for a hot take, but it's been a problem with the modern RE community for a very, very long time. And this does technically fall into the category of a modern RE now. And Shock, you're cute. And so like there's this it's something different than the classic community, where for some reason there's this weird elitist attitude to having a world record and to maintaining a world record. And it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, it really doesn't. I understand there are two kinds of runners, basically. There's the ones that strive for world record all the time, which are usually ones you see resetting about 50,000 times a stream, and the ones that just want to have fun. And, just play the game, and if they do well, they do well, and if they don't, they don't. Like, it doesn't matter, because this stuff doesn't affect your real life. And that's like the one thing I can't stress enough about speedrunning. Unless you are getting paid hundreds or millions or thousands, millions of dollars to get world records and to be represented by companies, or unless speedrunning becomes an actual esport, stop it. Stop it.
So basically, unless you're carcinogen, stop acting like you're carcinogen.
Yeah, stop acting like you sit on a golden throne. Like, it makes no sense. So I'm waiting
sits on an old desk chair.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I mean, hell, I had a stream where I photoshopped a DX Racer behind me, okay? When I sat in a crouch chair. So, I'm just, I'm not talking to Witch. Witch and I are friends. Oh
my god. Yeah, I popped off an Ian stream last night pretty big about the RE2.
I've done it many times before, and
I'm looking at the rules right now. Like, it
was pretty ugly.
Everybody's been talking about it, and I just opened up the rules, and man, I did not expect to have to read a book.
Check them again in about 15 minutes. They'll have changed again.
They'll change, yeah. And not only that, you should check the forums. At the bottom of the forums, I think, is where all of the nastiness happens. So
yeah, check the forums for sure, because that's where the real circus is. That shit's
I don't know. It's just something that gets on my nerves, that so many people can take themselves so seriously with something like speedrunning a game, which again is fun, but it's a game. Yeah. And it doesn't affect your real life. Like, stop.
Sometimes that's all people have, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they all need to be sent a video of just the guy, it's time to stop.
Michael Jordan. Stop. Get help.
Yeah, get help.
It's true.
But yeah, so I do still want to speedrun it, but I'll do what I do with most of the other games that I've speedrun that have had relatively toxic communities, and I don't mind even calling them, like, Outlast had a really bad community for a long time. I don't know how it is now, but back when it was pretty bad. Like, there was a lot of toxic behavior in the forums and everything else, and so I was like, I really like this game. I really like speedrunning this game. I'm just not going to talk to anyone in that community because I don't have to.
Pretty much.
And that's, that just is what it is.
I think if there's anybody in the Remake 2 running community, like in that bubble, that's on SRC, I'm pretty sure the only one I'd actually talk to is Orchi. And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So
he's like the only one.
He's like a nice guy. Carsey's actually a nice guy.
Yeah,
Speaking of, fun fact, he was on my airplane TwitchCon 2 years ago.
Carsey was?
Yeah. So,
that's awesome.
Bach, I've spoken to him personally at TwitchCon last year. Witch is starting to run RE2.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, everyone that's come from the classic RE community that's decided to start speedrunning RE2 Remake or the newer Resident Evils, I'm fine with, because they haven't changed their attitude. Like, when I first started speedrunning, and doing Resident Evil games, the classic Resident Evil speedrunning community was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
They want to help you. They want you to do well. They want to compete. They want to race. They want to do all of these things. Awesome.
They want to have fun.
Exactly. You go to the modern RE community, and it's just like, why the hell would I help you if you're just going to try to take my world record or something? It's like, who the hell cares?
That's something. I don't know if you know Abomination1212 or Blake.
I don't know him personally, but I've seen the streams and I've seen he was on the podcast.
We were
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I
hate that guy.
Yeah, he's a terrible person.
Nice.
Just kidding. Love you, Blake. No, he and I were talking last night about that and how different the classic community in general is to the modern community. When you have like 0, 1, 2, 3 remake, like maybe even Survivor to a point, Dead Aim and Code Veronica, like all the old school ones, and how the mentality in community is actually a community.
Yeah.
Instead of like the modern ones, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, nobody runs 6, so 4, 5, 7.
Vox, we could run 6. we could co-op run 6, man.
You're testing my love for you, aren't you?
Do
I'll think about it.
Do it.
I'll think
I actually think I know someone who runs 6 who used to be a part of my community a long time ago until he revealed himself as a massive toxic, sphincter. And so now I run 6. So,
Jesus, maybe. Well, touching on communities, kind of a shift, I guess.
I love mine.
Your community is amazing.
I love you. I love you guys
community
as well. Yeah, and just the one in general. So
Max has an amazing community, some of which are even here right now.
Yeah, so some of them stop by. I see them in chat, saying cute things. Stop being so cute.
That's what they do. Max's community is awesome. It has me in it. Casey, that's true.
Yeah, we all make mistakes.
I've been doing my best to actually stop by your streams a lot more, because every time I'm in there, man, like, this is gonna sound like such a generic statement, but I mean it full-heartedly though. Like, your streams are just they're just fun. Like,
thanks.
It is. Like, I'm just like, man, this dude's having a good time. Everybody in here's happy. Like, I enjoy your streams very much.
I mean, even when we have people that come in unhappy, like trolls and everything else, that they do what they do. We're super sassy, right back to the trolls, and everyone continues to laugh at their expense, which is fantastic. But it's
just not what the troll wanted.
Yeah, like it's been a long time. I know you guys have talked about it in the past on different podcasts, how to build a community. I've also seen like Beta giving advice on Twitter that I've read through a couple times. And it's solid advice about not getting bogged down in certain aspects and what you should be focusing on, etc. And community building, I think, is why Twitch exists in the first part. Because, I'm a relatively, I've only been on the platform for 2.5 years, 3 years in September, and but I don't consider myself old guard. Right, like old guy. I know people that were on Justin TV. That's old guy. Right. Like and I think people get very bogged down in numbers, myself included, ever so often. I don't look at them very often, but when I do, I'm like, why did I look at that? That was a horrible idea. And I think people expect the success in community building overnight, and that just doesn't happen. Like there's no way. And it takes a long time to build a community. It takes a long time to sit there, and you have to talk to people, and you have to provide them with like an outlet for different things. Because I work 10, 12-hour days, and then come home and stream. And the reason why I keep coming back and hitting that start stream button is because I have people that come by and just say hello. Just a simple hello or anything else is always great, or a lurk. And then you actually form the equivalent of familial bonds with these people, like with your viewers, with other streamers, And so I think building a community is like insanely important, and there is no, I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong formula to do that. You know, it's just whatever works for the people that have been around. So there's some people that are in my community that have been around since day one. And that's crazy. Like, because day one was me, I programmed my bots to talk to me. Right.
I don't think that's the first time we've heard that. Yeah,
so like on timers, like you can set them to say random things on the timer, and just sit in there and be like, "How are you doing today?" And be like, "I'm great, Nightbot. Thank you for asking me, Beast." Some people would consider that, that you're losing your mind because you're talking to yourself. But it does help. And then when people come in, it's kindness goes a long way. Right? Yeah. I mean, like, in positivity and kindness go a long way in daily life and on Twitch. Like, if you want to build a community, just be nice. It's really not that hard. Some people are better at it than others. I mean, like, there's some, but there's also people that build communities on not being nice by being a complete asshole to everyone, and they still have communities that support them. So.
There's one person in particular I can think of.
So, now that's not fair. Tony couldn't be here today. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow. Poor Tony. I was thinking of somebody who basically just showed his ass at what was it, the last TwitchCon, I think.
Oh, I was there for that.
Yeah, that guy. I know his name, but I don't want to say it.
What a guy. That's a whole guy right there.
That's a whole guy right there.
So, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's important. Like, for everyone in chat and for everyone that's watching later on YouTube or VODs and stuff, if you're trying to build a community, it's all about consistency, which is something I've been lacking lately with work. But like consistency, in coming back when you say you're going to come back for your community and being there. Having options to be able to talk outside of stream is great for community building. So Discord, Twitter, Instagram. I am absolute garbage at Instagram. Apparently, Instagram is like a job that I just don't understand. I'm too old for this.
It's a job you have that you don't know how to do, but you still keep the job anyway for some reason because they won't fire you.
I'm still waiting for the pictures from the Instagram people that I've requested. So I don't think I'm ever gonna have an Instagram account.
That's right.
People are like, I followed your Instagram, but you don't post. I'm like, yeah, you're right. But yeah, I think community building is super important, and I think it's slept on by a lot of people because they think it's going to be too hard to do, and it's not. It's really not.
There's nothing really difficult about talking to people that come into your stream and trying to connect with them in some way, or like in my case with Beta is a great example. We didn't even meet on Twitch. We didn't meet on Twitter. We met on SRC. It's thespeedrun.com for those of you who don't know. Mm-hmm. He started running Resident Evil 2, and it's one of the games that I follow. So I got a notification saying, "Oh, hey, the Beta Cat posted a thread on the forums," and I was like, "Oh, let's go check it out, see what's up." And he said he was a new runner and all the, this, that, and the other. And I was like, "Oh, cool. Hey, welcome to the community. If you have any questions, just ask." Like any typical good speedrunner will do.
Yep.
Not a modern runner, but then out of nowhere, he popped into my stream and we just started shooting the shit. And I popped into his stream, and here we are today. We run a show together with our friends.
Simplest form of networking right there is literally just taking the step to say hello.
Yeah, because if I had just ignored the notification, this wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's like a really awesome thing. Like for me, for my community members that are here, they're going to be like, "What the hell is he talking about?" But I have a problem because obviously I've never met a lot of the people that are viewers. I've seen them because I've seen they have pictures and everything else, and I can see those. But in terms of like actually meeting them, I've gotten the chance to meet a lot of them at TwitchCon, but not all of them. And so when I see someone new pop into stream, interestingly enough, my first thought, for some reason, as like, I think it's just because I'm old, is this is a child. Like there's like, it's like a child is behind this screen name, and I am so off base such a lot of the time. And so like a lot of times when I'm talking to people that are in the stream, it probably sounds like I'm being condescending because I'm talking to them as if they were a child, and you know, obviously I'm not meant. That's not what I'm meant to be. But you know, the new attitude that I have towards networking and you know, just being nice to community and trying to build a community is I treat everyone that walks in like the lady at the coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
Just a simple.
Are you questioning me?
Like, yeah, exactly. Like just a simple conversation. You know, a lot of people sleep on the fact that, you know, there's a lot of people that do stuff for you every single day that might not be going through a great time, and you talk to them and you make their day. And that's the exact same way here. Like the custodian that cleans the trash cans in my office, or
right.
Which are really good friends, and the lady at the coffee shop. And yeah, like just by treating them like your average day-to-day conversation that most people don't have, if you do have it, then you realize that people are pretty freaking cool. So
yeah, there's
a large portion of the time, unless they're asking me if I'm playing Fortnite or why am I not playing Fortnite, and then there.
Well, then they just get sent to the gallows.
Yeah.
Like that at the there's a gas station right around the corner from my house that I go to every day before work. So I'll probably be there in about, I don't know, 45 minutes. And there's an older lady that works there that every time I go in there, she and I talk for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because, you know, we started saying hi to each other and started seeing each other more regularly while she's been working there. And then it's, you know, involved into this thing, like we know what's going on in each other's lives, like how her grandkids are doing and how my daughter's doing, and it's wild, man. Just the regular day-to-day conversation.
Yeah, y'all are family already. It's too late. Like you can't you know, you can't take it back now. So
nope,
I'm also noticing inadvertently that I am a really, really bad Mario player. Holy crap. Jeez.
I've been watching it, and there are a couple times where I've been like, oh, he made it. Oh, wait, no, he didn't.
Oh, and he died. Oh, he's dead again. Oh, great.
I'm just so happy I don't have to play any more Mario.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Nintendo, I'd like to say that Ian's opinions reflect only himself, not us. So if you want to send us all free Switches and copies of Mario Odyssey, it would be great to receive them.
Oh, yeah. Do I play Mario? Only ever so often. I really like platformers in general, so I'll play any kind of platformer.
Well, no, I just did my Mario challenge where I beat Mario 1, 2, 3, and World. So
nice.
That was an adventure.
I don't need to play any more Mario for a while.
I think this isn't the level. In one of the levels, someone challenged me to shell jump, and I was like, I don't know how to do that crap. And then I did it, and I was like really excited.
And then an ad happened.
Yeah. Have you guys been watching Overwatch League? You guys should watch Overwatch League. There are so many new teams, including one from Atlanta, which is where I stream from. So you guys should go check them out, as well as the Houston Outlaws. If you watch and link your Twitch account, of course, you can get Overwatch League tokens, which can be used in the Overwatch League store to buy your favorite skins. Unlike last year, you actually get the home and away skins of your favorite teams this year by watching the Overwatch League.
Seen the ad once too many times, have we, Max?
I have no idea what that ad says.
Well, it sounded like something that would have come into the ad.
But I've always thought about becoming a commentator for something. So that would be.
You should. You've got a great voice for it.
That would be pretty fun.
As someone with a great voice, I would know this.
There you go.
That's all the. I don't know.
I mean, I would still love to organize. I know I'm getting off topic, but I would still love to organize some kind of. Well, first of all, I would love to organize an Extra Life gaming tournament. That would be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Where the proceeds go towards Extra Life. And in addition, I would love to organize because they do it for Link to the Past, and they're doing it now for Ocarina of Time. But I would love to organize a Resident Evil randomizer race tournament.
Oh my god, that would be awesome.
Which I think would be really cool. And then have it very, very simply have like 2 cameras of gameplay of the 2 people that are competing, and then have people over the top that are commentating the runs. Right?
Yeah.
And that would be so much fun.
That would be awesome. I would actually have a reason to download or actually play Remake again. I refuse to play it at this point. I don't want to speedrun it anymore. Just because of those two shitbox hunters.
Has an awesome comment for you, Mox. Oh, I just jumped off the map. What am I doing?
That was a visual representation of Horador's joke falling flat.
Oh.
Thanks, Mario.
You're welcome. So I know you have to go in like 10 minutes. So I don't know.
Roundabout. I could stretch it to about maybe 10 after.
I mean, I talked the last time I was on the show, which, by the way, thank you guys so much for allowing me to be back on the show, because this show is a lot of fun and should get a lot more press. And because you guys talk about like a lot of like dope stuff, like more than just like new games and stuff, but more along the lines of yo, Miles, thank you for the host.
I know that name.
Actually like real topics for streaming on Twitch and being a viewer on Twitch and stuff. So
yeah,
and that's also really cool, because last time I was on the show we talked about charity for a good chunk of the time, and how to be a charity streamer and stuff, and that was a lot of fun too. You guys should go check out all of these awesome charities. Vox and I both stream for Extra Life, along with other charities, so that's always fun too. Max is already my partner.
Oh no! That's the partner in my heart. Max is just everybody's partner, though.
Y'all are about to get so much chocolate sent to all of y'all. I bought a shit ton on the 15th. It was on like 50% off sale. It was great.
Beautiful.
So,
damn, we're about to have a throwdown in chat over you, Max.
Oh no!
Carry on, peasants. I want to see where this goes.
Bring forth Springer.
Shoot, I'm fat. There's enough to go around. It's split me between like 4 people. It's all good.
The bed's big enough for everybody.
I do have quite a large bed. So
do I. It's beautiful.
So the next topic here is how large is your bed and why is it that large?
Here I thought we were going to talk about engineering.
Oh, I'm super down to talk about engineering too.
Talk about how you engineered a big bed.
Yeah. I built it myself.
It's a beautiful thing. Oh, yeah. We touched on the engineering last time a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Just in like a general of what I'm working on.
Yeah. Because you are a teacher, last I knew.
Mm-hmm. Still am, unfortunately. Okay. So
yeah, that's how my mom felt about it when she was teaching too.
I enjoy the opportunity to impart knowledge on other people. I think that is really, really fun, because I think most of the problems with communication and networking and stuff like that stem from ignorance. And so the biggest way to combat ignorance is through education and knowledge. And so that's what's fun about teaching in college for me, is that there are a lot of people that, a lot of students that want to learn the material, and it's always great, as opposed to the other half of the students that are just entitled, trying to figure out what I can and can't say out loud. And that part is a lot of fun, and it's also fun like when you get those students that are extremely, live this entitled mentality of they deserve a certain grade and so forth, and then they end up changing by the end of the year. That is imparting knowledge that I'm talking about from ignorance.
Yeah.
And I find like that's very, very interesting. But the state of this is another thing I could rant on Vox. What grinds Max's gears is going to become a segment at some point. Holy crap! I love engineering. For those of you that don't know, I'm a mechanical engineer. I am a certified mechanical engineer. I did my undergrad in mechanical engineering and mathematics and got degrees there, and I have my master's degree in mechanical engineering. And I'm very, very close to defending my dissertation and being done with all of that. And that'll be fantastic. And one of the things that I love about engineering is exactly what you think it is. It is problem solving at its core. And regardless of what engineering you are, I know nowadays in job markets and so forth is all about computer science, electrical engineering, and electrical computer mix engineering, which is very, very big right now. So but even civil engineers, architectural engineers, structural engineers, all of those things, like they still, at the end of the day, boil down to one thing, and that's getting a problem and figuring out a way to solve it. And I think it's actually helped me a lot in a lot of different things, Twitch related too, because if there's a problem, you gotta solve it. Yeah, so and then, while the DJ revolves it, and so
exactly.
you gotta do all those things. And I think one of the greatest things about being a mechanical engineer is it's a jack of all trades kind of thing. So like we take classes in electrical, in computer science, in architectural, and civil engineering, and all of those things. And it's actually a lot of fun. I saw a question. What can you engineer for us out of a matchstick, a piece of gum, and a rubber band? Probably I can't remember the other word for it.
Battleship.
I could definitely design you.
Battleship.
There you go. I could definitely design a bridge.
Yeah.
Because we did matchstick bridges in undergrad. Oh man, what's it called? Basically a catapult. All of those things look great for a catapult. There you go. Thank you. I'm like, it's French. I'm like, I was like, I know it's a French word, and all I'm thinking is menage a trois, and that's not it. So it's got to be something else. So the. But yeah,
it's that matchstick and piece of gum a good time.
And but the other thing I was going to talk about in regards to engineering is my actual study is in control systems. So the simplest form would be like your I can't think of it again either. Cruise control in your car, or your thermostat, right? That's like the simplest control systems that are out there. And I work in robotics, so I work in trying to make sure that little swarms of robots or robot arms or anything else don't hurt people, right? So,
okay.
And changing the control systems accordingly.
So you're like the guy on the inside preventing Terminator from happening?
Yeah, my actual desktop backgrounds are Skynet and Umbrella, so they're nice. Although my chat continues to say that I work for DARPA, which is not true.
So when you're playing Resident Evil, is it research? Can you get paid from your work to do this?
I have to talk to the Umbrella executives. So.
Did you design the little robot arm in the lab in Remake 2, Max?
Oh, Sad Robot? Oh, Sad Robot's my favorite robot. Oh.
We had one like that when I was in middle school. I took an engineering class in middle school.
Oh, there's a little Sad Robot? Oh, dude.
Yeah, there's just a little sad robot arm that would pick things up.
Yeah,
it's one of those programmable ones.
Like engineering and like the work that we do on campus and stuff, I would love to talk about all day. Like I can't talk about some of the stuff because of depending on the research project, because of the NDAs. Because we do work for the government, we do work for the military in some regard, and different other organizations that have you sign all of those things, which are annoying, and then you can't tell anyone. But it's been a lot of fun. It's been a very, very long ride. I'm very tired. So a lot of the time from working on that stuff and teaching.
Speaking of engineering, here's this fucking ad.
Oh, yo, have you guys bought yourself a Honda today? Is this a Honda?
I think this is a Pennzoil commercial.
Oh, no, that was a Honda logo on the... Oh, yeah. If you guys
Twitch.
If y'all haven't caught yourself a UTI today, you can over at UTI.
Man, it's been like 5 ads in less than an hour.
You can pay for your UTI this time instead of just getting it from a hooker.
There you go.
Pay 1,000 times the price. Have less.
I guess the other thing that I was gonna say was that, again, I find education to be very important. So if any of you guys and gals in chat are thinking about going back to school for any particular reason, I would highly suggest it. However, I would highly suggest you do the research in advance. In terms of figuring out what school to go to. If you go to a school based on the U.S. News and World Report, bad idea. Those rankings are made by people who have business degrees. Not saying that people that have business degrees are bad, but what I'm saying is, like, people that have business degrees should not be rating the state of education.
Right.
It should be educators or people that have education degrees. And
that would be like someone from, I don't know, like a math institute trying to grade someone in a musical institute. While they're similar, it's like you probably shouldn't.
Oh yeah, they didn't do so well in the math department. Oh well, you don't say. So, you know, I actually, if I had the choice, I would have chosen a different college to go to. If I'm being perfectly honest, because I think the education system at the college that I currently go to, or the university, is, for lack of a better word, piss poor. Like, it's really bad. Okay. I feel sorry for the undergrads that have to go through it, and I feel sorry for the grad students that have to work in that environment, because it's not what it's cracked up to be. So the state of education in general is pretty poor. So in that regard, again, love talking about education, love talking about engineering, love talking about the state of autonomous cars, because everyone always wants to talk about that, or AI. But education is something that I can rant on all day, for sure, 100%. And then on the topic of AI and autonomous cars, since no one's asked
since you brought it up.
Yeah, since I brought it up. Oh, look at that.
Wow, that pro play in Mario, though.
Oh, yeah, right into the lava, yeah. I was told the cape makes you fireproof. I was lied to.
Yeah, you were lied to.
You know, I think that there's a lot of companies and a lot of stuff that are making amazing strides in engineering, robotics-wise, AI, autonomous cars, etc. But for anyone that believes that we're going to have this stuff within the next couple of years, do not let these companies lie to you, because that is delusion at the biggest level. Like, we are nowhere close to being able to do stuff like that. I would say at least another decade, probably, if I had to take a good guess, because, you know, you're talking about people making basic programs. I could definitely see, but the human element slows down the process.
Always.
Yeah. There's too many variables. There's too many. Like, you know, the trying to model the human brain, and the fact that I'm about to say the word flibberty gibbles like I did earlier, like that alone, that process has like hundreds of variables. Right. So many signals being sent. And, you know, I find it interesting that, you know, people like Musk and, you know, other heads of companies out there are like, yeah, we're really close. No, you're not.
Well, maybe in the grand scheme of humanity and invention, we're really close if it's only going to be another decade. But I mean,
that is very, very, yeah, I guess. I guess it depends on the time scale. But I don't see.
Degree too?
Elon? Probably. I would imagine so.
That was the joke, Max.
So, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I still love you.
So if Elon Musk wants to come on stream and have a discussion with me, I'm always free. So
that would be cool. I wonder how much he'd pay us to let us have him on the show.
Yeah, and obviously
offer him weed, he'll show up.
You know,
offer to bring his car back from space, and maybe he'll or whatever it was.
Is it coming back with the chimp involved?
Did it pick up a chimp on the way?
That was that one they sent to space before.
No, that monkey is dead.
Oh yeah, he's super dead.
He's very, very dead.
He's way dead. It was like, what, 40 years ago?
Some advanced civilization that we've yet to discover.
Yeah, what's up, Kai Show?
Probably.
Oh, man. Oh. But yeah, I don't know if you like anyone in chat has any questions about the stuff we talked about, or if you guys have any questions. My question is, I want to know what Beta is thinking about right now, because man, he looks super immersed,
super intense right
now. You know, he's also doing the same thing I'm doing, kind of like stroking where the beard would be. Right now, he's booping his own snoot, but you know,
I'm just reading chat.
He's reading in chat.
What do you think?
I really enjoy like talking about tech and stuff, so I'm enjoying this conversation.
Oh yes, tech is so good.
I actually wanted to be an engineer also, but then that went out because I didn't really enjoy school.
But you still work with, I mean, like as far as I'm concerned, with the stuff you do with music and everything else, you for all intents and purposes are an audio engineer.
Yeah, I'm an audio engineer and I do video editing for marketing.
Yeah,
audio and video engineer.
But like, I want to build computers and work on processing and all that stuff.
Oh, got you.
It was super expensive because I was paying for all my own stuff, and I had to get financial aid and all that. And then it got to the point where I just couldn't
so expensive
afford any of it anymore. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna work full time at this place, and then I just worked myself to where I am now, just on my own.
Hey, that is impressive. So, because again, like monetarily, financially, education is really expensive.
Yep.
So,
especially like the type you want to do, I guess just more expensive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. How would I implement AI cars? I wouldn't. If I were to have to answer that, I mean, I would. The quality assurance and dude, I can't dodge a bullet bill to save my life, and testing that would need to go into it. Like the safety factor for me would have to be huge.
Yeah.
And that would involve a lot of testing. I mean, you see people like, I believe the video on YouTube of the Volvo guy at the car dealership that had an automatic braking car and was testing it and decided to test it on himself. Dumbass. Ends up getting run over by the Volvo. Like, that's the kind of thing that, would have to be, you would have to need, what's my favorite color? Blue. You would have to need enough sensors, not only on, you need lane detection sensors on the side. You would need sensors in the front and back that are basically laser trajectory finders, and be able to program in what the optimal car length is. What kind of blue? Dark blue. The optimal car length is between the car in front of you and your front bumper, the car behind you, your rear bumper, the cars on the side of you. If you're going to implement AI cars, all of them would have to be AI cars. I think that's the biggest thing right there. Is if that's going to be a thing, all of them have to be like that. Because if they're not, and you still have a human, the singular human that's driving amongst the AI cars, everyone's dead.
Just hearing you describe all of that, I'm already gonna just put my money down now. AI cars, not happening. We're all just gonna have a giant monorail. That's all we're gonna get. It's gonna be Disneyland everywhere.
So, yeah, I think. I mean, if I had to implement it though, that's the way it would have to be. Like, there's, in my opinion, there's no really other way. Let's see. My question is, why don't you let humans take the massive L they crave and increase the quantities of souls? Demon, no one's gonna make any deals with you. Okay? Get out of here. Oh man. I said that earlier, all cars have to be AI. Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, Demon's got a question for you. Knowing what you know about speedrunning or streaming, would you approach something differently?
Speedrunning wise, probably not. Well, except maybe not join certain games that I thought were going to be good, like Outlast 2, horrible garbage. But and maybe like do some other ones. But I think honestly, knowing what I know now, I think I would have put myself out there more in the beginning without being obnoxious about it, and being able to network a little bit better the way that I network now, as opposed to, when I first started. Also, guys, UTI.
Again.
Oh
so, you guys should check it out. And the graduate in less than a year. Look at that.
They're over here pumping out AI cars.
Yeah, for sure. As far as speedrunning goes, I probably wouldn't change anything. I enjoy the games the one thing that I like about streaming and speedrunning in general is it's fun. It's meant to be a hobby for me. It's meant to be fun for me. And at the end of the day, I should be, I speedrun what many people have called horrible games. I mean, I speedrun RE Survivor. I speedrun, a lot of those games, but I enjoy them. And I wouldn't change anything about that. I wouldn't change the games that I speedrun now or any of those other things. As far as streaming goes, streaming is fluidic. It is constantly changing. Streaming is basically water. And trying to hindsight's 20/20. So if I would have seen the popularity of certain things now as opposed to what they were before, I don't think I would change anything that I'm playing, but I would probably change the style of
bad games
of streaming
speedrunners the most.
So, like, you know, making better, you know, networking with artists, networking with video editors, becoming better at video editing and animation, and stuff that people want to see. In addition to being, you know, a personable streamer, I would probably change that, knowing what I know now. I still wouldn't stream BRs all the time just because I'm not good at them and I'm not a huge fan of the genre, but I enjoy watching it. I don't enjoy playing it. And so, you know, I wouldn't change any of that stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I think knowing what I know now, I probably still would approach the entire idea of community building and charity streaming and everything else the exact same way. So do you think that Twitch is enough to get noticed, or do you have to make content other places also? I solely work on Twitch. So I have a YouTube channel. I hardly ever post to it. The only time I ever post to it is when I need to put up runs for GDQ. And I need to get a video uploaded. Because when I'm on my stream, I'm sitting there swearing up a storm. Right? You're not allowed to swear at GDQ. So I record offline and upload GDQ runs to YouTube instead. And that's it. Instagram, don't really do much. Twitter, I find Twitter to be insanely dramatic and it's annoying. So I the only things I ever post on Twitter are either positivity things or when my stream goes live. That's it. Like, so, like, again, we were talking a little bit earlier how Twitter has become amongst both partner streamers and affiliate streamers. My entire feed is either filled with cute cat pictures, which is awesome, or it's filled with people that are giving unwarranted advice that no one asked for, or complaining. Like,
it sounds like
I don't scroll through my Twitter feed to see, like, the way that you get more viewers is by doing this, this, and this. And it's like, well, that doesn't work for everyone. And no one asked you for your advice. So why?
My favorites are the people that are like, oh, just drop your link. I'm looking for some new streamers to support.
Oh, those are the fucking worst, dude.
It's like, get the fuck out of here. You're not going to check anybody out.
Lurk for lurk, follow for follow.
But it works.
It works.
I think my favorite one so far, they're getting innovative. When they say, drop a link and I'll donate this much to them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And there's just a bunch of people dropping links in there. Just boosting that dude's Twitter.
Yeah, but I think you can do it on Twitch, and I think you can be successful. Do I think you can be as successful as, like, a lot of the old guard that are very successful right now, like Dr. Disrespect or Ninja or any of those guys? That takes a lot of work. A lot. And the thing is, like, being on Twitch is not as easy as just pushing the start button. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes things that really involves a lot of work in the background. And you got to be willing to do that. If you're not willing to do that, and you're not willing to lose sleep sometimes for the work, then it's going to be very, very hard and take a long time to be successful. But I think you can obviously be successful by just doing Twitch, if you wanted to. Or even Mixer, YouTube, any of those things.
Pepe Hands, Mixer.
I mean, I actually watch people on Mixer, so I have some people in my community that stream on Mixer that left Twitch and went to Mixer, and it's still cool. So
it's a thing.
Yep.
All right, boys and girls.
Vox has to go to work. Feels bad, man.
Our time is well, our time's up, but be sure to follow Max over on his channel so you can get some more of this good-ass talking like what we did today, except by himself without us. So it'll be
with a lot more swearing.
With a lot more swearing.
So, and ranting, of course. But yeah, if anyone has any extra questions later for anyone, you can always hit me up in Whispers or Discord or anything like that. I am more than happy to help out. Can I be your friend? Done. Already done. See, you've already entered. You already went through the door and decided to come and talk to me. So we're already friends. Don't ruin it though.
Don't ruin it. But we would like to thank you guys for joining us here in the secret levels again. Mr. Max, thank you for joining us. Good man.
Thank you for the invite. For sure. I really appreciate it.
we'll have.
And thanks for putting on the quality content. Everyone in chat should thank Ian and Vox and Tony and Beta for putting on the amazing podcast, getting a bunch of different casters. I mean, they've gotten some really awesome people on the stream. Obviously, again, Silent, Witch, Abomination.